Yo, friends, hey there, streaming live, and got a few things that I wanted to talk about, so I decided to stream it. And yeah, it's the first mobile streaming. So I was talking with friends last night, and I wanted to revisit the coronavirus because it's, of course, continued to be in the news. And I did leave a video, put up a video a few weeks back on this topic, and I want to follow that up with a couple of things. So I'm obviously not dressed for work at the moment. I'm heading this morning to go ride my mountain bike. And that pertains to where I'll start first. So with the coronavirus, um, there's some obvious steps that we should be thinking about. There's also the paranoia and the panic that's going on that I feel is fueled primarily by the media outlets, and people want to just hear the taglines, and there's all the hand wringing and the what ifs, and what we really need to do is take a deep breath and start reading and start researching and understanding how this is evolving. So as I pointed out in the last video, the time to be prepared for something like this is well in advance of these things. So you're not going to vastly improve your immune system in a week. However, there's some things that you can do. So I just want to say I'm going to ride my bike because it's a part of my self-care routine that involves exercise. It starts with how I feed myself. It's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. Well, even before that. So I won't go delve too deeply here, but I had an awakening in my early 30s when my father was diagnosed with cancer. So prior to that, I had some interest in health, and I just would encourage anyone who's going through life on autopilot that you start to really find a strategy to improve your health. Now, are you going to live a lot longer? Maybe not. Evidence actually shows that people who have a very strict healthy lifestyle, they don't really live longer than people who live a balanced life that's perhaps not as strict, but it's the quality of life. you know Unfortunately, those people who are most at risk are probably not going to hear this video, but those who are on drugs, addicted, have addictions, whether it's alcohol or drug abuse, and the great epidemic is those of us who are addicted to sugar and are abusing food. There's nothing more common that suppresses the immune system than the refined carbohydrates and sugars, and I've been ranting on this for years, even before the keto diet. So I'm not even talking about cutting out all carbs here. I'm talking about reducing refined sugar. Now, I realize, so it is an addiction. So I realize that's easily said. If it was that easy, many, many more people would be adopting to a low sugar diet. But like I said, it's addictive. If any of you have children, you know what I'm talking about, or have experienced it yourself. Sugar is a drug. It acts on the brain like a drug. It's addictive. And unfortunately, when consumed in quantities above what is naturally found in whole foods, you suppress your immune system. Now, we add to that, we are, sugar addicted. We're drinking alcohol regularly, as many of us enjoy to partake in that. Alcohol also suppresses your immune system. It impairs your body's ability. So let's just cut to the chase. I'm saying that now is the time, whatever you've done in the past, that you just cut it out for the next, until we get through this winter, the tail end of winter. People are more in close contact with one another. The spread of viruses, this is the season. So cut out the sugar now. And alcohol, in moderation, that's not a big deal for most of us. But if every night you need that drink, or if you're getting inebriated socially out in public and with people, you're just gonna anyway. So, and then back on, exercise, fresh air, getting exercise. Better to exercise outside than in a gym, obviously, because the exposure to viruses. And by the way, the people are dying from viruses all the time, and it's just not reported. The coronavirus is unique in that it can have this syndrome where it hits the respiratory tract. And I'll go into that a little bit more now as we've seen this evolve. And the people who are unfortunately dying, but at most risk, are those who are elderly and have pre-existing conditions. So, we don't need to go buy up all the hand sanitizer, face masks, and toilet paper at Costco. I was online just trying to order a few things for my practice and noticed that I was having trouble just finding basic supplements, things like vitamin C, etc. And it's just what's going to happen is that there won't be these things available for those areas and people who actually need it when they need it. So, is that me saying that, is that going to change? I'm not saying don't be prepared, but again, it's this paranoia, mass hysteria. Although in my neck of the woods so far, I don't see people, marching down the street in chaos. But I lost my train of thought. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of do a quick video. I did post an article on Facebook that linked to the what we know so far. There's some good evidence as to who the demographic, who are those individuals who are being most affected and at risk of the severe outcome, so death, right? And so that's where these statistics come in. Those over 40, over 50, over 60, the rates of potential for the acute respiratory distress syndrome, however they call that, that's in those older individuals. Now, I'm going to also say that as a naturopathic doctor, there are things to help. And unfortunately, those in medical care and hospitals are probably not getting some of these things, may have limited ability and access, but not just vitamins that I've discussed before, things like zinc, but respiratory rescue, essentially. There are excellent herbs, including lobelia and ginger. There are things that calm the immune system, and acetylcysteine, for instance. Anyway, super powerful. N-acetylcysteine is an antioxidant and a powerful regenerative for glutathione, and has been shown to help the clearing the mucus in the lungs. Is it going to save people who have the coronavirus? I don't know, because we've not done those studies, but I do know that it helps in other viral respiratory infections. And so, all I can say is start with cutting out those big things. Oh, and lastly, as I pointed out in the post that I just did, is basic things like sleep. If you have sleep issues, or if you are prone to neglecting sleep, this isn't the time to be doing that. Let's boost your immune system with adequate sleep. Start with the basics: clean water, clean air, good sleep, and of course the diet, not just not eating too much sugar, but also getting those nutrient-rich foods in your diet, mainly from the vegetable kingdom, at liberally, and in the diet is going to be what you want to do. So, I mean, it just comes down to what we were probably or should have been taught when we were growing up. It's like now everybody eats like it's a party 24/7. We eat fast food. I'm going to digress a little bit. It's just, let's grow up. I see adults eating like they're at a 8-year-old's birthday party, fast food. I mean, really, and soda. Then add the adult beverages on that, And by the way, if you're smoking, and my heart goes out to people when you have an addiction, it is very addictive. But again, of course, like excess alcohol and really smoking, we've long known. And actually, I believe that what we're going to look back on is realize that the processed carbohydrates and sugars, how the nutritional and governmental recommendations are going to show how wrong they were, and it'll be treated like cigarette smoke. Cigarettes, cigarettes are still legal, but at least we finally have public opinion about. There's no controversy around what the use of cigarettes, tobacco, and I'll add sugar to that list. The evidence is overwhelming and has been that way. So I can't say enough what that one simple step can help with your immunity. So anyway, don't want to add more, obviously, panic, but just try to help people be calm and approach this in a way that's educated. So if you do find me on Facebook, go there to see that article I posted that gives the stats on who's most at risk with this coronavirus. Of course, now in the U.S., and we have states of emergency declared in certain states because of the cases. It's going to be something more people want to know about. So anyway, let me know your questions, comments, and I'm just going to keep on doing what I do, and I hope you do too. And don't live in fear, and that just stress is going to not be your friend. It suppresses your immunity as well. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.